something. So I pull up Google, I click there, and all these bikes come up with Ducati.
Doing a bit of shopping.
Can I f***ing say it? I have this joke lined up for some long and you're ruining it.
There we go.
All right. Okay, so first up, we don't have a name yet. Right. But yeah, alright, we start with some veterinary stories initially because...
Wait, who are you?
What?
Who are you?
We'll start with veterinary because, well, we live and breathe veterinary science because we work as veterinarians and then we come home and are overpowered with veterinary questions from each other. So, unfortunately, we are living and breathing veterinary science, or at least that's how it feels sometimes.
Yes, but who are you? What's your name? Introduce yourself. Okay. So, my name's Christian, and this is my
partner, as they call it in the UK.
Partner, and we've recently moved over from South Africa to UK, England, Great Britain.
Portsmouth, to be more specific.
Brexit. I don't know what's the difference. Where are we? United Kingdom. What's the difference between Great Britain and
There's a lot.
United Kingdom?
One's including Ireland, one's including Wales. There's a definite distinction. Anyway.
But moved over from South Africa. Been here 6 months. First initial thoughts landing in the UK. What were they?
Oh my word, I can see my bag. Off to a good start on the conveyor belt. And had
so
breakfast.
Didn't get lost. The bag didn't get lost.
No.
Because they said with the
British
Airways, people say that you lose bags.
Not in our case.
Yeah, and then walking to the people that came to pick us up.
It's so nice to see my cousins who I haven't seen in so long.
And then
the stress started. Although it already began before moving over.
As easy as they say it is to move over to the UK from South Africa.
I'm surprised there's so many people doing it because it is way harder.
Yeah.
Everyone made it seem so easy. Just because a lot of people are doing it doesn't mean that it's easy.
What was the big stresses of coming over? Like, we needed to find accommodation while we were still in South Africa, which was a big stress because they don't trust us.
Coming from Africa, you have no references either. Yeah. They'll definitely pick a local over you.
So the first few places we applied for, we didn't even get responses because they're just not interested. And after that, we learned we have to write doctor everywhere in the letter of applying to make sure they think we're decent people. And then finally got this little place. Not bad.
It's proud.
But other things to be stressed about is SIM cards. You had an issue with your SIM card.
I didn't want to activate. The car was a stress of us because we knew we needed one.
Car, and the other thing is a bank.
Bank account was a tough one.
Yeah.
I got declined by everyone. If anybody works for a bank, if you could please maybe accept me or consider me as as a member. Because only Revolut accepted me. Definitely.
I got one easy with Monzo. But I tried Starling. Didn't want to give me. Chase. Didn't want to give me. And then you tried everyone and Monzo also didn't want to give you one.
Declined by Monzo, declined by Starling, declined by Barclays, declined by Chase. Revolut took me. So, whoop whoop. And
luckily we came over during a good time of year, spring, but it's going to start getting depressing now, getting dark very early, and you're a morning routine person.
Yeah, so I do everything basically at night still, because 5-6 a.m. is completely dark. So runs are not morning sunrise runs; they're night runs. With a barely lit up promenade, hoping I don't step in dog poo.
So we finally got a nice place. We got a bank sorted out. We got our phone numbers sorted out.
We got a car.
And that was the other thing, getting a nice car, because like a few years ago, they said it's so cheap to get a second-hand car in the UK. Cost nothing. £1,000 gets you a nice Porsche or a Lamborghini or something. No, not anymore. So we got a little feisty Fiesta.
A very sexual Fiesta. Have you seen that number plate?
With the number plate.
Booty for JJ.
Booty for JJ.
I don't want our number plate online.
Oh.
So let's just do the booty for JJ bit. Okay. And then not what you said.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll believe that. What do you think about our background? I probably can't even see it on the recording.
Do you think it's too light?
Yeah, I definitely can't see what it is. But it's basically stock images of veterinary practices.
Imagine we work like this every day.
Nice and bright lit consult rooms. Nice sunlight pouring into the windows. Because where we work, there's no windows in the building. You're just in your little consult room. And
they lock you in there.
Artificial room.
Work.
Yeah.
And every 15 minutes you are required to do something and to speak to the new person.
More than every 15 minutes, because you've got your consult 30 minutes and then your next consult 15 minutes, and in between that you have to do everything. You have to phone your other client. You have to manage your in-house patients.
So having a car is such a blessing, because
I think the bigger blessing is having parking. Having parking in the UK is like you've made it in life. You've made it top level.
I'm getting to that. So having a car is the biggest blessing, but there's a massive burden that comes with that, and that is to find parking.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all the tax and shit.
No, and to pay for parking, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't like back in South Africa just drive to the beach and go to the beach. You have to pay for the parking. You have to pay to go onto the beach. You have to pay to look at the beach. You have to pay to breathe the air there, because it's an ocean air.
Because it's a clean zone, so your car cannot be contaminating the air.
All that stuff. Right.
So it's quite a burden, yet such a blessing, because the public transport is not London. So to get around, it's completely a necessity. Unless you're like Christian that just has a bicycle and, in all the weather conditions, he can make it.
Barely a form of transport, my bicycle. It's an old second-hand 50 kilogram, but
yeah, but does it work?
It's barely. It's horrible. Yeah, so this is the first podcast. It's obviously not ideal. We've tried to make it work, so we don't have any lighting. We're recording audio on the phone, so it might be a complete disaster. What do you think? Is it going to be a hit? Is it going to be a hit podcast?
I'm not doing it for everyone else. I'm doing it for myself.
Why?
Because it's something we've been discussing that we should do. And if my family can just see this and have a good laughs, then that's satisfying enough for me. And the fact that I can tick off my list of things that I've done and experiences and that I've done in podcasts is, I'm quite a doer. So that's something to say, okay, I've tried that, done that. So if this doesn't take off, it's not a big deal for me at all. I don't expect it to. Basically, you can show my family back home as well as the cousins here what our everyday life is like, and hopefully they can have a few laughs.
So, the job. Your expectations, did it meet your expectations?
No.
The job. Why?
No. I expected to be a surgeon by now. Besides that, they call us veterinary surgeons here.
Back in South Africa, we studied 6 years to get the title as doctor, because we're a doctor there as a veterinarian, and here we don't have that title.
What's your name here? Christian.
Christian. Or Chris. Or what Oliver calls me at work is Christina. Christina Aguilera. Aguilera? Angry? Ankle? And Dan calls me Christopher. What do they call you at work?
Laryssa. And most people can say that.
No nicknames?
No.
Laryssa?
No.
Lariscal?
Practice manager is South African.
Rascal?
Says Laryssa. Or anything you can end it with that's not sir, as it's supposed to be. He'll call it. And I found a client actually that said it's her mom's name and she's Russian. And asked if I'm Russian or have some Russian heritage. And I said, not at all.
Do they think you're Russian?
Just
the
one
name?
client. Because her mom's Russian and, well, she's Russian, but her mom's name's also Laryssa.
Well, they think I'm either Australian, and then a new one this week was French. So, oui. That's French. I thought I made a good joke there. Oui.
No,
you just thought about
like...
it.
To be honest, I don't even know oui is a French word.
Yeah.
Most people tune, you're a South African. I'm like, good guess.
Yeah, it's strange how many South Africans we have as clients. Anyway, off topic. I was saying expectations as a vet. Did they meet the expectations?
No.
Why not? Oh, you already said.
Touchy subject.
But I mean, explain your day. Tell me a day in a life, no?
A day in the life of a UK veterinarian.
There you go. A day in a life as a UK veterinarian. As a Laryssa from South Africa, UK veterinarian, how do you do your day?
Hey guys, who's that? Grab a name, let's go in.
No, don't you wake up at 3 in the morning to start your morning?
Not quite. It's a
Almost.
5 a.m. alarm, even though you may think it's 3 a.m.
Yes.
And I'm not struggling to get up that much because I find if I don't set my 5 a.m. alarm and I'm like, ooh, went to bed a bit later than usual, let me set it about 5:36. I wake up at 5. So I just get up.
And then?
I don't snooze ever.
Oh,
It just makes you tired.
Sorry.
And I have the worst dreaming as if I need to be waking up. And I'll wake up every 5 minutes after that because I know I need to get up. So that doesn't work for me. So alarm rings, get up, have a cup of tea. Usually have my bread in the bread makers.
Your morning poo.
No, that's after the tea.
Oh, okay.
Usually make freshly made bread, so I wake up to the smell of a bakery, which is fantastic. Cut one of those warm slices, usually burn my fingers on the tray. Melt that butter in, so have a slice of homemade bread and some tea, and then a morning poo.
And then?
Fuck around until 6.
Yeah.
It used to be light, but no longer. So then I'll hit the gym or go for a run, and then get back by 7. Then I usually stagger in a massively pumping mood with my drum and bass
And then
blasting.
I arise.
And you're there just mute.
And then I'm...
And I want to either tell you about this new drum and bass song, and you're just the usual comment, you're too much right now.
I've just woken up. But anyway, then I wake up, and then I make breakfast while you go shower. Then you come back, eat together, and then off to work. Start work 7:30, 8:30, 8:30. We get to work. And then
15-minute consults, and then if it's a first consult, if you're lucky, it's a 30-minute, which is the best thing. So any veterinary practice that's listening on this, I can't emphasize enough how good the 30-minute consults have been. I know it was a trial where I work. Initially they tried it, and then they moved it to you as well, and they haven't gone back. They thought they were going to be losing money, and we're doing the best, from what I understand, than they've ever done.
yeah,
So
but I just can't. I don't know how you be able to do anything in 15 minutes besides the vaccination. Because even we get 15 minutes for our vaccinations, but if you do anything else, you are late.
You're compromising on quality of the service.
So I don't know how you do anything else in 15 minutes.
I don't know how they do it either.
Skin case in 15 minutes.
I need to learn to control the room better. So I let the person talk, and I'm a big talker. So I'm always late. If it's a 15 minute slot, it's enough.
Yeah, that's the most important part, I think. It's just making the client feel that they are in control while you are actually in control. So when they walk in and they're like messing around with the dog, and they start explaining to you like, so 3 weeks ago this started, and then they explain the whole life story, and you haven't even touched the dog. So they start talking and say, well, can we get him on the table so long? And then I start feeling, and then I said, yes, you were saying, and then they continue.
So you're doing a physical exam while they're
already talking, yeah, because otherwise, like, if they talk 10 minutes and then I first have to look at the dog, oh my word, then be a mess.
I often say, I'm going to type while you talk.
So that's also a way.
Notes straight onto the computer as they're talking. It definitely saves time.
Anything else that you think saves time in a consult room?
Your nursing team. They have my back, and I can't appreciate them enough. They're saving me each time. So if it's any blood work or anything they can help with, they take over. And they'll send the dog out front when they're done. So I just finalise the ball, let the owner pay, give it over to the nursing team, and the nursing team will carry on with whatever needs to be performed, and then they take the dog out front to reception.
I usually like doing the blood. If I'm really behind, then yes, I let the nurses do it. But I usually like taking blood, even though I don't get it all every time. I feel like I'm quite alright at taking blood.
Then aggressive patients, more or less than South Africa?
More. I feel like it's definitely more aggressive dogs, or just shitty dogs. Like it's these scared cavapoos and scared English. What's the terriers thingies?
Anything with a poo, really.
Cavalier, no. But yeah, all these cavapoos. Spaniel, that's the word, yeah. Scared and nippy, and owners like, no, he doesn't bite, he's fine. And then, or they don't even warn you, and the dog's just like, wants to kill you. And that's where I just get fed up. That's why I'm like, okay. But I stay calm, obviously, in the consult room. And I'm like, we are going to struggle today. Let me just take him to the back. Right? Okay, come on. No, don't worry, he's just a bit scared. And in my head, I'm like, this dog. Yeah.
I do find them better away from the owners because they definitely feed off them. And I'll say that, do you know if he's better away from you? Can I examine him in the back? And usually they're happy to do that, and then get a muzzle straight on. I don't have time to be fighting or worried about a side eye and a nip.
Oh.
Muzzle on, we're both safe, dog's happy. And just do a full clinical exam and then bring him back, and usually they're fine.
To be fair, have I been? I've been nipped by a dog, but the ones that get you are the cats.
Oh.
And
these are not self-harm scratches.
These
are cat scratches.
Yeah, cat scratch, bites, anything. Yeah, they're the worst, cats. I hate, aggressive cat. That's the worst thing for me to deal with. I know some people like to deal with them somehow more. They enjoy dealing with the aggressive cats more than the aggressive dogs. What do you prefer?
I don't mind. The aggressive cats, it depends. So you can wrap them in a blanket, and the nurses on my team are, where I'm working compared to yours, I don't know what it's like.
We're working at separate practices.
Sister practices.
Still, yeah, separate though.
And they're really good, so they know how to handle aggressive cats. We've got those like garden gloves for like thorn trees that you and we use those on the cats so that we don't get scratched. And you have to restrain them well, otherwise it's injuring your team and it's keeping the patient safe as well. If you're just letting the cat fly around the room, it's not good handling on the cat, or how do I say it?
Oh no, I'm not listening. Sorry. Sorry, I zoned out completely. Cats, bad. Dogs, better, but they still piss me off when they're angry. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I might take an aggressive cat over an aggressive dog.
My thing is, I don't like walking into a consult room with an unknown dog or unknown animal, in the sense of a cat can change. While I walk, when an aggressive dog comes in, I can see it's aggressive. But the cat, sometimes they just look a bit scared, but you'll manage, and then the next one looks the same, bit scared, and then that one just decides, nope, not today, and ruins your arms.
But I find that the cats can give you a better warning. So either usually on auscultation, I'm listening and I just hear I start growl. And I'm like, oh, we're aggressive.
But see, that's what I mean. Like, you only realize, like a dog walks in, you're like,
you can spot them better.
I'm not even going to try with you. Where cats, you're like, I can try, and then you almost find out during the consult, oh shit, this is not going to happen.
I usually get a growl or a hiss and then I know where I am. I'm like, okay, we've hit that threshold. Yeah. I want to talk about Rottweiler.
Have you heard about a Rotty Rumble?
No.
First time this week I've heard. A guy comes in, Rottweiler puppy, like, I love Rottweilers. Like, we grew up with them. So I love them to death, and they're the sweetest dogs ever if you obviously raise them correctly. Right? They're lovely dog. Small little puppy, and this is actually the first client that I'm actually having a chat with, because all the others I'm like, hi, let's do vaccination, goodbye. This one, I had something in common. I'm like, I like Rotties. And he's like, me too. Like, no shit. And then he said, he asked me, because he said he grew up with the Rotties. And then he had another dog a few years ago. And now finally he's got the puppy again. And then someone told him about the Rotty Rumble. And it's apparently that they do like a growl, like a growl, when they're happy as well. And I was like, nope. I've never heard about that. Because I don't know if it's just people trying to, like, let's say their dog is aggressive and just be like, and it's growling, and they're like, no, don't worry, it's just the Rotty Rumble. He actually likes you. Something. But
some bullshit story.
And that's the thing. Now, Rotties growl because they're friendly most of the time. You were saying?
The Rotties in the UK are very much like the Rotties that I've had in South Africa, and the same experience, and I was surprised about that. And that is, I've had to muzzle the UK Rottweilers, and I thought things would be different. I haven't had a great Rottweiler experience here in the UK. They've all been growly and super aggressive. And
the Rotty Rumble.
It must have been this Rotty Rumble. But the previous Rotty, or the last Rotty I have, is also probably my most aggressive dog now that I've had.
Yeah.
The owner was very much like the dog.
Also aggressive.
They were young, a young couple.
Yeah.
And she was, 19 or so.
Yes.
And she sent her partner, her boyfriend, with the dog. And I couldn't assess the ears. It was painful. The dog was growly, and he just would not sit still to get an otoscope down those ears. And I had to send him home with some anti-inflammatories and come back to reassess
chill protocol.
With a chill protocol, because I cannot touch this dog. And we got in a complaint because I sent it home without giving medication for the ears. So
did they complain?
Yeah. So, but it was the girl who complained. She wasn't there, and that happens a lot, I find. The complaining one is the other partner who was not present.
Yeah. And
they usually have a bigger mouth, but they have no idea what happened.
And it's usually the girl.
I've had it the other way as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, the dog comes back in with the chill protocol and still aggressive. I cannot assess the dog. Take it to the back, muzzle it, try it with the nurses. It's a no-go. Then they demand that they will be coming to the back with me while holding their dog because it's going to be fine. And
that sucks.
I was like, no, we're going to not go to the back. That's a no-go zone for you, gal. We're going to do it in the room and you're welcome to hold. But then you need to hold well. Like, you need to keep the dog's head still because I don't want to hurt him. I'm going to be putting a scope down his ear.
Yeah.
And they couldn't hold him. And then they understood, okay,
well,
now we can see how aggressive he is towards you. And the problem is that it just gets more and more worked up, so that he just got more and more aggressive. And
sedate, GA.
Yeah, so and then of course, guess what? They had no money. Don't you find that the most aggressive and most demanding clients are usually the ones with no money?
There's definitely, if you draw a graph, a big correlation to the less money they have, the more aggressive their
and
dogs
demanding they are.
Yeah, the more things they want from you as well.
Yeah.
If you're not going to give them those things, you're a bad vet. And
you will be receiving snotty email.
Yeah.
So with regards to this aggressive Rottie, so I'm like, remember, he's coming back. He's probably a bit more chill than the chill protocol. But you know when they give you those eyes like, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
I'm Laryssa, it's your consult room. He's coming into your house. So I'm like, hello. And also now the owner's aggressive, dog's aggressive. I'm like, you're the boss of the room, girl. Quit myself. Yeah. Get there and I'm like, oh my god, he's going to kill me. And Rossi gives you the eyes as he walks in. He's like, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm like, this is my house. You're in my room. Trying to be bigger than the dog. And then you got the owner on the side as well. It's like, come on, guys, this is a serious adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it's something I struggle with. To keep calm in those situations where you have an aggressive dog or cat or anything that you can't handle.
So what fun have you had? And what crazy things have you seen since being here? Do you have any funny stories?
I've seen some weird shit. I've seen some cracked out people on the regular outside our flat fighting with the police. But one thing I saw the other day was when I went to Tesco to buy like cream or something, I can't remember, but walked in there and busy by the aisle looking for whatever, and this guy walks in and he's like bald. It'll make sense, right? It's bald. Walks in, goes to the shampoo, straight to the shampoo, takes the shampoo, squirts the shit ton in his hand, rubs it all over his head. He's bald, puts it back, and walks on. And like the staff like try and stop him and like, listen, whoa, you can't just come in and take like little samples of what we have, and then like it's like opening up a pack of chips and having some chips and leaving. And they're like, no, you have to pay. And then he just ran away. Some shampoo on his bald head.
Do you think he was dead to do that?
No, I don't think he was dead. I think it was 100% his one intention that he wanted to do. He wanted to go in there, grab shampoo and put it on his head for no reason. That's one story. Oh, another thing, it's more of like, I can't believe it, is that we were walking down the beach. I don't know if you can even call it a beach. It's more just rocks and shit, and there's no waves, so it's more like a lake or something, but at the beach. And like late afternoon, and I see this guy like walking with this big trolley thing, walking onto the beach, and I'm like, that looks like a Weber, like a thing you braai out of or have a barbecue out of. And I'm like, what's this guy doing? And he's like, he's making a fire on the beach. And like back in South Africa, that's a no-go. So I'm just like, police is just gonna come out of the bushes and grab this oak now and rip him off the beach. And then next moment you see like 5 other people making little fires. So yeah, you can make a fire on the beach. And then the other thing is you can walk with a glass of beer down the street. It's the weirdest thing ever to see someone with a glass Not like a bottle or any, it's a glass. Walking down the street of beer. Hey?
And you can cycle without a helmet, no problem.
You can, but I think if you get in an accident,
Christian, the whole thing is that it's the things you can. In South Africa, you're supposed to be wearing a helmet if you're on a bike on the road.
Yeah, but you won't get fined for it in South Africa.
No, you don't get fined for shit in South Africa, come on.
You do!
Okay.
Crazy shit that you've seen.
Crazy shit. Veterinary or UK life?
UK. Nothing.
Sorry, all mine relate to veterinary because I have no life.
Okay, but anything that you've seen that you like, what? The kids.
What kids?
Everyone having kids.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
If you walk on the promenade, every single young girl will have a pram that she is pushing.
Below, probably between 18 and 20 years
25.
old.
It's crazy. I'm like, what? I'm like, you're still a child.
You're still a child. I don't want a child.
Everyone here knows their great-grandparents. It's crazy.
Yeah, because everyone gets kids so young.
And that trend carries on per generation.
Yeah, but I've heard it's because of that they get grants or shit.
Yeah, so they do it for the money.
Same in South Africa.
Yeah, for that 350 rand.
Wow. You can buy a lot of pop with that money.
Enough to feed, yeah.
Porridge, a lot of porridge. Segment of weird vet stories.
One.
Weird
education.
vet stories. What do you call
Education
the
session.
segment?
We can't talk at the same time.
What do you call the segment?
Education session.
Education session. Tongue twister. We're teaching the clients how to behave in a consult room. Things to do and things not to do.
Do's and don'ts in the consult room.
As a client. When you bring do's and don'ts in the consult room when you bring your little furry in. Or whatever. I don't know.
My thing is, how's it going with the temperature checks of every dog? Do you also get comments? The owners always have something to say about me sticking a thermometer up the butt. And the worst one has got to be, yeah, I know that's not nice. Or, you're hurting him and he's got blood coming out of his butt, but I'm sure the thermometer's doing that too.
Whoa. What did you say? I know that hurts.
Yes.
Is that what someone said to you?
Yes.
I know that hurts. So you know what they've done at home.
I don't need to know that. Or you could just not comment, eh?
It's like a dad joke. Oh, I know it hurts. Or, you're so brave.
And it's not going to be nice. It's going to be over shortly. Ooh, he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
Cool.
Haha.
Yeah. Lame.
But speaking about putting thermometers up buttons, cats. Is it just me, or is it the most difficult thing, even if you've lubed up that thermometer so much, to put it in a cat's bum? Is it just me that struggles with that?
The more challenging bit is to hold the cat still while you're doing it.
Yeah, but still, I don't know what's going on in that bum hole, because I push it, it's lubed up.
So there's a sphincter?
Yeah, but it's lubed up, and I push it, and it's like, if it just gets stuck. It doesn't want to go in ever.
Well, I don't push it that far in. Just needs to oops.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But then again, you also have to hold the cat, and which freaks out. And
I don't take temperatures in a cat unnecessarily. So if it's just not a sick cat, I'm not taking it.
I do. I always do.
If it's eating,
I always take temperatures of every single animal when it comes in, because that's what we're supposed to do.
If it's eating well, its temperature might be raised because it's in the consult room and it's busy shaking of terror. So it's going to be a raised temperature, and how do you know to call it? So if it's a sick animal, I'll take it. But if it's a healthy animal, I don't always have to take that, in my opinion. It's not going to give me enough diagnostic information.
Yeah. Feels like we're on the casting couch.
What's a casting couch?
Do you not know what the casting couch is?
I don't watch TV.
It's not on TV.
Oh.
Anyway, let's move on. So, you were saying funny stories in the consult room.
Do you also find that when you're listening to the heart of the dog, that you go on the left side and then they're holding the dog against you, and then you go round to the other side and you just basically punch the owner's boob, and you're like,
punch their boob.
Sorry. I just ignore it and carry on. I just apologise. But a lot of the ladies like to hold the little fluff here, and I can't assess your dog if it's here.
When it's inside your boobs, part of your
Because I don't
boobs.
know where I can touch and how to get round. And with you cowering over it, he's just more likely to.
What do you do then if you do?
I'm like, let's put him on the table.
Feel a boob.
Just apologise and move on.
I'll just keep quiet and act like that's what I wanted to do.
I wonder what you guys do, because sometimes I'm like, oh, it must be so inappropriate, and then I'm like, I'm probably sure that they're comfortable because it's me and I'm also a little girl and they don't really care. But if it's one of the males at my clinic,
well, I think it all depends on how you react. So if you do that and you give her a smile, I think that's the wrong way to. Because then she's going to be freaked out. If you act like nothing happened, then I think she's more like, okay, that was probably an accident.
Then, funny things inside the consult room.
That's really busy.
Chits and chats that you've had with the owners.
I just catch myself sometimes like, yes, hello, how are we? And, oh, you're such a good boy. And then I have this moment where I freeze and I have this out-of-body experience looking at myself, and I'm like, who are you? Why are you speaking like that? And I want to throw up and I want to punch this guy that's impersonating me to speak like that, because it's the most embarrassing thing ever. And I don't care. I mean, I care about every and any animal as much as any and every animal, always.
But not that much.
Yeah. Not, hey, how are you much? No.
I realise my famous line is, especially with cats, I'm like, oh my word, she's so beautiful.
Really?
She's the most best coat ever.
I can't
Look
see
at her
you speaking
colours.
to like that.
And I'm like,
You speak to the class like that?
not quite, that's exaggerated.
Oh.
But I just basically compliment them on the way that their cat looks. I mean, most cats for me are beautiful, so I'm not lying. And then the ugly ones, I just don't say it. But I find everyone's cat is the most beautiful thing in the whole world. And I'm like, Laryssa, shut the fuck up.
No, my thing is perfect. And I got it from one of the other vets that I work with.
What?
Perfect. Saying perfect.
Yes.
And they'd be like, so he's been eating and drinking well. I was like, perfect, that's perfect. And then they're like, yeah, and he's thrown up twice, and it said and then I'll just say that word perfect. And then I'm like, well, not perfect. And, oh, sorry.
Oh my word, that reminds me, in euthanasias, when they're like, thank you, and you're like, pleasure. No, I didn't mean that, I promise.
It's not a pleasure.
It's not a pleasure. They're like, don't worry, I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Laryssa. I'm just like, alright, okay.
Yeah, I have to force myself not to say pleasure
Yeah.
when putting a dog to sleep.
You gotta
When
watch
they're
what you
thanking
say.
me. I just say, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
the other week I had someone asked me what was in the Ducat vaccine. So
What is in the Ducat vaccine?
I just have to go.
Calicivirus
I think it's one of the
and
tracheitis.
We're
because
vets,
I get
I promise.
confused.
we're vets.
Because I get confused, I googled it. I'm like, before I say the wrong thing, the Ducat and Tricat, one is 2, obviously the other one is 3. I typed it in and it came up. But I spelled Ducat wrong.
Right.
Google was like, did you mean Ducati? So all these bikes come up. Anyway.
Were you in the console room
Yes, but
while you Google this? It's just showing a bunch of motorcycles on the screen while
I'll get there.
Well, the client's there.
That's my whole story.
Go on.
So I Google it about the Ducat vaccine, and Google was like, did you mean Ducati? Minimized. Then the next client walks in and asks me something. So I pull up Google, I click there, and all these bikes come up with Ducati.
Doing a bit of
like,
shopping.
Can I fucking say it? I have this joke lined up for so fucking long, and you're ruining it. So
Yes.
I pull up the Google screen and there's just these bikes and it's like Ducati and I'm like, whoop, next tab. And he's like, oh, been checking Ducatis out there. And I'm like, if only I wish. I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, well, you can think I'm that cool.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it was
That's a good
Ducat vaccine that I was filed for. I'm like, well, he thinks I'm cool.
Yeah, I always, because you can see what the dogs and cats are coming in for on the consult list of the day. And then it would be like, cat acne. And I'm like, what? I've never heard about cat acne. And then I Google it.
Oh, the other name.
And then I just always have to remember to close it before they come in, because...
This has happened to me too.
Really? Where they see you've Googled something?
Yeah. But it's usually a product name because I don't know what the active ingredients is and it's different names in South Africa. So I've Googled what this medication they're on and then...
And they see like you...
And they see you've Googled...
What is this medication?
What is propylene syrup?
What's that, sir?
It's estrogen.
What's it called?
For the sphincter.
What's it called?
Incontinence. Propylene syrup.
Propylene, oh.
And I was like,
What
what is
Herein?
propylene syrup? And then the owner comes in the dog comes in and then she asked me something else that I wanted to Google and I bring up the screen and it's like, what is this medication? And then this owner probably thinks I'm Googling everything.
Yeah. I've needed to Google a lot of things. Starting to work here in the UK.
And I've also learned that it's okay to do it in front of the owner. So if
Googling
something
stuff.
I'm unsure, something I'm unsure, I bring up a proper data sheet that something's or renowned,
Well-known medication or what? Reliable source.
If you know a reliable source, you bring that up and you get the side effects or the data sheets or whatever you need and you can show it to them on your screen because then you can go through it with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can show them where to find it as well. So I don't mind Googling things with my clients and then at least showing them reliable links and saying it not just from my mouth, but here it is registered in the data sheet of this product. And they can actually read that themselves.
Yeah. That's my story.
That's my story. Not in this one.
Let me see what I've got on my notes. A few more funny stories.
Veterinary or UK related?
Veterinary?
Okay, go for it.
Oh, I wanted to tell you the story so long now. I've been wanting to tell you
Is this one
one
of them that you wouldn't tell me before and because you were waiting to tell me on here to get my real reaction?
Yes. Yes, it is. Had this dog come in. It's like this staffy / bully type dog. I don't know what it is.
Probably not a bully.
Yeah.
Knowing this whole commotion about
Yes.
the breeds.
And it's super busy. And this lady brings the dog in and has a lamp here on the bottom jaw. Having a look at the lamp, blah, 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 whatever. I've got a student with me in the room. It's already so much stress just having to deal with this consult. Now there's a student there that I have to try and impress. Because now, in general, when the client's in the room, I have to act like I know what I'm doing. Now, in between consults, I still have to act like what I know what I'm doing. Because the student is still with me then. I don't have that free time to be like, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, take a sample, give it back to the owner. They both leave at the same time. The dog almost runs out. They're both in the passage and I close the door. And as I close the door, I just hear the biggest crash or something outside, like a thud, like a doop. And I just hear someone screaming. So I look through my little window and there she is lying face down, hands to the side, on her face. So she's obviously fallen.
Oh no.
And she's just laying there. And I just look to the student and I'm like, I'm not dealing with that now. And I just stay in my consult room and start typing my notes.
But there's people outside helping.
Yeah, obviously. But I'm like, oh, I should really probably go outside and help. But I'm just like, oh, I can't deal with this shit now as well. Like, it's been a rough day as well. And I'm like, oh, I can't. And then I look through the window a bit later and she's still lying, flat down. And like, everyone has moved and practice manager, everyone is around them. Finally, they get her up and it's just blood everywhere.
Oh.
And I just see blood running down her nose. So she's broken her nose. And I don't say a word about this. See her in a week. She comes into my consult room, black. Like, you can see she's broken her nose. It's just dark and black underneath her eyes, like bloodshot eyes and everything. I don't say a word. I just say, how's it going with doggy? And talking to her about the results. And there you go, shit, you can go again, bye-bye. Just act like I've got no clue about it.
You are so British.
Yeah, it's
That's
horrible.
Exactly what the British people do.
It's horrible.
They will ignore and be polite the whole end. This is me. What happened to your face?
What were you saying? What happened to your face?
What happened to your face?
Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough stories.
Cool. Next up, I was thinking is a Pinterest question.
A Pinterest question?
You know,
What's that?
You know, like I asked you, oh, that's where I'm getting all my questions from. You know, I ask you random shit, like in the mornings when we're chilling together, and then like,
yeah,
you've
been asking a lot of stuff.
I like them.
What's the Pinterest?
Because it gets us talking and thinking about things.
What's a Pinterest question?
Like, what's your favourite hobby when you were a kid? And then you argued with me that ballet isn't a hobby. It was an extramural that my parents forced me to do. And does it count as a hobby still?
I just think that, yes, you got hobbies, you got ballet and all that stuff, but none of those things was probably your own decision. It might have been. Nothing
was at our age.
Yes.
Everything was decided for
you.
And
that's why I feel like you must have like your forced hobbies that you were forced into and your personal chosen hobby. And even if you're like, I want to do ballet, and after 2 weeks you're like, I don't want to do it anymore, and then you have to do it for 5 more years because you wanted to do it, I still don't think that counts as like that person. But like one that I said was drawing, like just sketching, or no, what do you call it? Doodling. That's what I
mine
like
was
to do.
in street soccer, because that's something we chose to do after school.
No, yours was playing.
And playing at my neighbours' friends' houses because they had cooler toys than me, and because they had DSTV.
Using them for their DSTV.
Yeah, but they were my friends too.
Okay, where were we? Off topic. Oh, Pinterest question. Sure.
It was silly things like, what traits...
So, are you going to make your own Pinterest question now and ask me?
No, I'm going to get it off Pinterest.
Oh, I thought this is the new segment that you're going to ask similar questions to the Pinterest question.
No, I'm going to go on Pinterest and get some questions.
Okay.
But it was things like, what trait do you not like in your parents?
Well, that's going to be very deep personal
stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah.
I think we need a lot more light-hearted questions.
Did you remember those that I did?
Yes, I did. Still thinking about them.
Oh, these Pinterest ones now, it's like because you've clicked on something, it brings up. And this one's like, what triggers my feelings of unworthiness and how can I overcome them? It was never this deep.
Yeah, whoa.
What is the source of my recent negative behaviour? Absolutely not. It was fun things.
No,
do you remember?
Fun Pinterest questions, not why do you feel worthless questions.
It was things like, what would you do if you wanted to treat yourself? And don't give me the last answer.
I would watch a movie.
And I said, I'd eat a tub of ice cream.
Eat a tub of ice
False
cream.
False.
The go-to ice cream of the week. Because
At the
every
moment,
week it's a different one.
Like, grab onto different flavours and I'm like, this is the best thing we've ever tasted in the entire world. And then a few weeks later I'm like, no, I hate that flavour. On to the next.
I'm a new person now.
It's like,
what's it now?
Ben and Jerry's, the cookies and cream. No?
Cookie dough.
Cookie dough. Ben and Jerry's.
The one I said from the start's the best one.
Ben and Jerry's cookie dough ice cream. It's my new favourite. I didn't like it in the beginning. It was like a meh. And now I'm like obsessed.
But there's still one in the freezer.
No, is there?
Not the cookie dough one, the one
No,
you don't.
Oh.
Which
That
flavour?
hazelnut was disgusting.
Yeah, I wanted to say just rant on a bad flavour.
The hazelnut sundae. Anything with the sundaes? Ew. What is that stuff on top? It don't taste it. I literally just chucked it out the drain. It's a no-go. Other thing to notice, I found that I do that a lot. So I'll find a new song and I will overplay it.
Listen the shit out of it.
I will listen the shit out of it.
Okay,
I will make full use of that song. I will run my best times. I will cycle my best times and I'll gym the fuck out of that song.
Okay,
and then a week later, I do not want to hear it again. It's over. New song. Luckily, there's new music coming out of the walls all this time, so I can keep this behavior up.
What's the song of the week?
Song of the week is definitely the drum and bass song that I played for you in the car today, and you were like,
"What's it called?"
Sounds like all the other ones. I don't know, because I'm playing and I have a playlist.
And not play it. Get copyright written.
It's probably an old song, but for me it's new because I've recently discovered it. Oh, there's a few now. It's a subsonic song and UKF, K-Motions, called High Notes. The adverts in this country.
On SoundCloud.
Insane. SoundCloud actually has adverts here, which is ridiculous. And if you don't have
I don't think anyone else uses SoundCloud but us two, though.
At work they do.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm just when I talk about SoundCloud back in South Africa, everyone's like, what?
If you're not on premium on Spotify, the adverts are insane. The adverts are insane. What I wanted to say. If you're not on premium on Spotify, the adverts are insane. It's like 3 adverts between a song. So it's a full minute and a half, and they're 30-second adverts at a time. So you sit there for a minute and a half doing reps and you're hating your life because you're waiting for the next banger.
Yeah. My song of the week, I'm Steve.
Oh, do you like it now?
What do you mean? I played it for you.
It was a random that came on because you've played the other one.
Well, this one, yeah. Showing the word song name here. No. Anyway, on that high note, I think that's the first episode done, dusted.
Let's see how it turns out. If I have more cool stories, I'll have something to talk about.
Yeah.
But other than the living, breathing, being veterinary, we'll see where this year takes us.
Yeah, if you've gotten to here, thank you, and I'm sorry. Please give a like and go listen to us on podcast, Apple Podcast, and all the podcasts. I don't even know how to do that, but we'll try and put it on there.
We'll start with YouTube.
We'll try and put it on all the platforms, and please go follow our page on Instagram that we don't have yet, and please go and watch our reels on TikTok. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Bye.
Cheers.
Love you. Okay.